Hi, I'm Jeff Foxworthy, and welcome to GameKeeper Podcast. If you want to learn more about farming for wildlife and habitat management, then, buddy, you are in the right place. Join the GameKeeper crew direct from Mossy Oak Land Enhancement Studio as they discuss the latest wildlife and habitat management practices, news, and, of course, hunting. There's no telling what you'll learn, but I'm going to tell you, I bet it's interesting. Enjoy.
We're live in 3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody, welcome to West Point, Mississippi. We are here. Lanny, I don't know. This one, there's going to be a lot of information in this
Man,
one.
we're excited about this. You know, there's nothing more, Mossy Oak than turkey, and nothing more turkey than Mr. Fox, and we're going to talk about some good stuff today.
Well, I think everybody for the last year has been hearing about this Mr. Fox vest.
Super excited.
And it's, there's just a lot of questions, and I'm looking at Dudley. You've got a lot of questions, I think, so you'll be able to get them answered.
Yeah.
And just to kind of set the table here, we're looking around the room. We got Daniel on the couch.
The dev team.
Got a big
that's right.
grin out of Daniel, and looking over, we got Neill
In the house.
raising his hand. Neill, have you got shoes on?
Actually, I have shoes on. Daniel does not.
Ah.
But, in the spirit of the twin thing, we'll go ahead and take the shoes off, and that
There
way
it
we
is.
can match.
There it is.
I like the shot clock. That's new. Hadn't seen that yet.
Yeah,
we can
and
keep up.
sometimes we actually turn it on.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's at 57 minutes, and we just started. So,
Look at you guys.
Yeah, that's 1 minute. It just started, Dudley.
oh, okay. I forgot how to read.
Working perfect.
I
I
forgot how
have
to
to say
read
the
the clock.
production of this whole podcast is really. I mean, every time I come here, it's a
We're
little
trying
bit
to
better.
step our game up.
It's better every time.
It's a little bit better. We were trying to make it a lot better, but yeah, we get there.
It's chaos.
It is.
Yeah.
It's organized chaos.
Yeah, we
So-
good.
Well, we're just so excited to have y'all here to talk about this. You've brought in a bunch of stuff. There's a Fox vest laying on the couch. Mac, you're gonna have to fact check these guys pretty hard on this one. So let's be ready. So
There's a lot to communicate. We're trying to.
And this thing's been how many years coming?
We
years,
actually, 2 years ago,
really.
plus a couple of days, because it was 2 years ago, me, Neill, and Dad went duck hunting back behind the camp. And we realized the last hunt of this year, last weekend, we were in the same spot that we had hunted the day that light bulb turned on that
Let's do this.
it's,
Well,
it's time to do
it's time to do
a Fox
this.
Fest. But
Yeah, we had been talking about doing a limited edition turkey vest.
Yeah.
For a lot longer than that. For years, we wanted to do a second Dixon vest, and we talked with Will Dixon and decided that we didn't, need to do that and just leave, Mr. Bob's turkey vest as is.
Sure.
And so that was, and then we were like, oh, well, why don't we just do a Mr. Fox Fest?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well, it was
anyway.
kind of one of those the past 5 years, and when we started this, it would have been when Pawpaw had just finished or had finished his 73rd season, but season 74 and season 75, the last two, not quite yet. But the last 5 years have been so fun with everybody following along with Pawpaw and cheering him on, and more people every spring, learning, who Pawpaw is and getting inspired by him and him becoming this big symbol. He's always been that for Mossy Oak, but becoming that for the entire turkey hunting community. It dawned on us that because eventually we, of course, would have made a vest for Pawpaw, but just like the Dixon vest, we've never made a vest for anyone else except that one for Mr. Bob, and it was under the circumstances that it was honoring him after he had passed away. So these past 5 years have really been like the saying of, give someone their flowers while they're still around. That's kind of what this is for Pawpaw.
Yeah.
Why 2 years ago, why should we wait until 10 years from now and do this vest? Let's go ahead and make the Fox vest while he's still around
Yeah. Honor
to
now.
enjoy it while we're building it. And it's been a 2 year process, and Pawpaw's 92 now, so it wasn't a guarantee he was going to be hunting the whole time that we were building this vest. But since the day we decided to do the vest, he's killed another 2 or 3 turkeys and like 4 bucks. So he's
on it.
had plenty of time in the woods.
oh wow.
That's awesome.
Well, he's got such a celebrated history around here. I mean, not everybody knows some of the conservation issues that he's helped deal with locally, and then even on a statewide level in Mississippi and Alabama. But could y'all speak just a little bit to the history of what Mr. Fox has meant to turkey hunting and deer hunting?
Yeah, well, I mean, from Mossy Oak history and from West Point history, both. Obviously, Mossy Oak wouldn't be here if it weren't for the relationship that him and Dad had growing up turkey hunting at a time where not a lot of people were turkey hunting, and you weren't always getting introduced by your dad because there just weren't that many turkey hunters around yet. But for West Point history, of course, the story, 50 plus years ago now, but there weren't turkeys in Clay County. Mossy Oak, the reason Dad got into turkey hunting early was because Papa grew up at Choctaw Bluff, like a lot of people that are listening to the podcast probably know the story down there. But that's where the Mossy Oak tree was. That's where Dad's introduction to turkey hunting was. That's why, even though Papa started working in West Point for Brown Foods when he was 20-something years old, he still was able to turkey hunt his whole life, driving to Alabama, even when we didn't have him here. But yeah, as he got older, he took it upon himself to repopulate the turkey population in Clay County. And I feel we've got other information to get out today, so I won't give the long-winded version of that story, but the short version is that we didn't have turkeys in Clay County. Papa decided himself that he wanted to get with the local game warden and talk to the state and see about getting the turkeys populated here. And the cool part about Papa, because showing the level of restraint that he did, because all hunters aren't necessarily known for showing restraint. And you can imagine how much everybody was dying to actually be the first one to finally get to go turkey hunt in West Point. And the turkeys were really visible off of Highway 50 where Papa had let them out. So a lot of people for the first few years, they would always see the turkeys. They would tell Papa, we saw Mr. Fox's turkeys in town off 50 and all that. So there were a lot of people that were going behind Papa's back to try to get the season moved up so they could hunt them earlier. And they would always, I see those turkeys every day. The Fox is lying, saying that we can't hunt them yet. It's not going to hurt them. But the turkeys would have been wiped out 3 years after he had put them in if he hadn't gotten to intervene, and he did. There's a great story about him driving down to the state capitol and pleading his case in front of a bunch of folks and getting the original deadline honored. But, it's a great story. And that, among many other things, last year at NWTF at the Grand Ole Opry, NWTF gave him their Lifetime Achievement Turkey Conservation Award, which was extremely cool. And he's just these past 5 years especially, they've just been so cool because everyone around here is always known and appreciated and loved Papa. But he's still got a flip phone. He doesn't know the difference in a YouTube video and the Grammys. So it's not like he sees a lot of people that are wearing his Foxcraft Mr. Fox turkey shirt and keeping up with him. He doesn't know the extent of it. It's been awesome these past 5 years for everybody to get to share in that.
Wow. Well, it's a fantastic story.
Oh, no doubt about it.
And it's one that we're so close to it. I think but when you get out away from the community and you have people come up to you and then you realize how many are cheering for Mr. Fox.
Everybody's asking about it.
It's heartwarming.
Yeah.
It is heartwarming. And hey, we wouldn't be sitting at this table obviously if it wasn't for what he did here. So
no, and what a deserving individual.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
He just is. So y'all tell us about this vest. What do we need to know?
All right, so
well, first, before Neill starts and I'll let him talk, I just want to say thanks to everyone listening to this for being very patient because there have been a lot of rumors swirling about the vest and there's been a lot of buzz. So we didn't want to communicate anything formally and confuse any details. So we've been waiting until we had everything absolutely buttoned up to share. So Neill.
It's been a long time coming, and with COVID and it's been a difficult process to build this vest and manufacture the vest and it's it's a limited edition vest. It's not a huge quantity. It's just I think I can't remember the materials are just all over the map. From leather straps and different. I mean, it was a very difficult process.
And the Dixon especially puts more pressure on you because the Dixon vest was made 16 years ago and someone paid $3,200 for one on eBay 2 weeks ago. So knowing if the Fox vest is positioned alongside the Dixon and people covet it the same way, and 20 years from now, people are going to be trying to find one or hunting with their own and taking it into the woods. You have that hanging over you, the expectation of quality that we have to meet to live up to a vest that truly does Papa's legacy justice.
I think it'll exceed it. I mean, it looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. The Dixon vest is the greatest vest of all time up until now too. Yep. So, and not that we're out to try to make a vest that's better than that because they're both, they're the same style of vest with the gun strap style vest, and but we don't want one to be like, oh, this one's better than the other. No. We just want two. Really, really cool vest, unique vest that honor two incredible people. And so that's kind of what we did. We wanted the vest to be, the same style as the Dixon, but have its own identity as the Fox vest and not like a copy of the Dixon vest. And I think we pulled that off. So So to get down into where all the questions are coming from is, where do I buy one? How do I get one?
How many are there?
How many are there? I mean, we have not clearly communicated that message at all. It's been pretty much a secret up until now. So we'll say, I don't even know what today is. In 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks, at NWTF will be the very first chance that people will have to buy the Mr. Fox vest. We're going to take 400 vests. Backtrack. There is 1,944 numbered vests that we made for the year 1944 when Pawpaw killed his first turkey. So,
and as everyone probably knows, but with the Dixon, it was 1 through 1986 for the year Mossy Oak was founded.
Yes.
So
we wanted a similar number to that, but not the same number. And so that's, he was born in 1930. Thought about doing that. We're like, well, I think he killed his first turkey in 1944, so we'll do that. The numbered vests, 201 through 600, will be sold at NWTF. We're most likely going to sell 200 on Thursday morning when the show opens. It'll be first come, first serve. And Friday morning when the show opens, 200 more vests. And then the remainder of the vests will be around a month later. There'll be 3 different places you can buy one. You can buy it at NWTF once those 400 are sold through. The next chance will be at our retail store in West Point, Mississippi, at the Mossy Oak store in person, not online. We're going to have an event at the store on March 11th, Saturday, March 11th. I think it's the opening day of youth turkey season.
Sure is.
And so there'll probably be some people that
Hope so.
coming in and exchanging what vest they have for maybe a new one. But hopefully Hayden will have a turkey in the back of the truck.
We hope
coming
so.
Up there. Yeah.
I'll be strutting if so.
Yeah. And so that'll be the next opportunity to buy one. If you want to come drive to West Point in person on Saturday, March 11th, you can buy one there. And then after that, we will have our online launch to sell the remainder of the numbered vest. And then we will have how many?
we have a limited number of unnumbered vests that exceed that. So the reason that we did that was because of all what the Dixon has become and how coveted it is, how hard it is to get. The first reaction that we got, the majority of people that we told when we were building this vest, well over half of the folks that we said it to, their instinct was not, can I get one? Their instinct was, A, I hope that I can get one, but B, if I can, I would love to get 2 or 3 because I want to hang one up and then give one to my son when he's old enough to appreciate it and all of these things. So in our heads, it's scary because all of a sudden, if you can't figure out how to limit how many vests are sold, you're talking about selling, if you average 2 vests per person, if it was just the Wild West, then you're selling less than 1,000 vests to less than 1,000 people. So we have a few unnumbered vests as well, so that we just want to make sure that this is not, if Filson was making this vest, it would be 3 times what we're charging for it. The goal of this vest is not to make a bunch of money. The goal of this vest is that genuinely everyone that cares about Pawpaw and wants to have a piece of his legacy and to have this vest alongside their Dixon, or if they don't have a Dixon, they're getting this for the first time. We just want everyone who genuinely appreciates everything and loves Pawpaw to be able to have this vest and to wear it for decades to come. So we're making a few, not a whole lot, but we're making a few more vests just to hope that as many people as genuinely want one for the right reasons are able to buy one.
Sure. And
that's
this is
awesome.
going to be an heirloom.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
it's a collector's item, yeah.
If a guy shows up at NWTF, is he just limited to being able to buy one?
Correct.
Yes, it'll be 1 per person at NWTF.
Yep. We'll dive into NWTF a little bit deeper because there's some cool stuff that's going on there. So there's 5 call companies that are making 400 calls a piece to go with the 400 vests that we're selling at NWTF. Rolling Thunder, Houndstooth, Primos, Quaker Boy, and Cody are all making a set of 400 calls. If you buy your Mr. Fox vest, you can go to their booths. Well, 4 out of the 5, you can go to their booth and buy the call that comes with the Mr. Fox vest, and each call will be a $20 donation that goes back to Gamekeeper grants. And then as well as Cody, Bill Ziering and Cody, he's not going to have a booth there, so we'll be selling his calls out of our booth. So if you want the Cody call, you buy it in the Mossy Oak booth. And then the other thing is not just at the show, but all of the 1,944 numbered vests, Apex Ammunition is selling a box of Mr. Fox vests 20 gauge shells. We loaded the first 20 boxes this morning, built them and loaded them, me and Daniel and Dad. But the all 1944 vests, if you want a box of the shells to collect with the vest, you can buy those through Apex. You can buy, they're bringing 400 boxes to the WTF show to go with the 400 we're selling. And then later, if you buy one at the retail store here or online, you'll be able to buy a box that way as well. So the one thing that will be constant with all 1944 vests will be the box of Apex ammo.
This is the coolest thing
It
ever.
is.
Yeah.
I mean,
No
it's
doubt
so
about it.
well thought out, guys.
The shells are insanely cool. And Neil didn't mention the coolest part about that. And then this is why Jared and all of our friends at Apex are so awesome, because they really, I mean, we wanted to take care of every last detail with the vest, and that's how they do things every day anyway. And the Apex connection that brings it all together is that they've been making Pawpaw his own shells.
Yes.
There's not been
Yeah.
a bunch of fanfare about it.
I remember that.
But they've been making shells for him for the past 5 years, or ever since they started. Jared and Neil, he would drive over to Columbus, he'd get the shells, and so it's the perfect complement to the vest for them to be involved with it, because they're not only are they our neighbors, but they were really taking care of every last detail before all of this. So that is the one through 1944, the only thing that is part of the vest beyond just the vest for the limited edition numbered ones is the Apex shells. And the coolest part I forgot to mention, Neil saying we loaded the first 20 boxes ourselves this morning. They brought all of their loading equipment to build shells to the cabin. And
Nice.
we built all 20 of those boxes in the
Mr. Fox
little
is
breezeway right there by the front door.
Yeah,
That's
so-
Awesome.
So those call manufacturers, those are fantastic call manufacturers.
doubt.
And
Yeah.
the Apex pushes it over the top. Is anybody making a push button call so Dudley could have some?
Yeah, I joked with Uncle Bill when we started down this road of building the vest. I was like, one day, Uncle Bill, we're going to build a vest for you, and it's going to have nothing but push button
buttons.
pockets all over, like 6 push button pockets.
yeah.
You better
was
have
a
more
push
than
button.
6.
It's like an infomercial.
But
And
wait,
there's
there's
more.
more.
But wait, there's more.
Calm down.
So on top of all that, the first 1 through 10 vests, we're not going to sell these. These will all be auction items. The first 10 vests, they're going to come with, there'll be 10 boxes of ammunition from Apex that we loaded this morning. And then there are 9 call makers, custom call makers, that built a set of 10 calls apiece for this project as well.
Some of the best call makers in the country, and
Yeah.
a couple old
So,
legends that were
yeah.
really
Man.
cool to work with.
So if you're familiar with custom call makers, you're going to be familiar with a lot of these names. They're some of the best guys in the world, and their calls are some of the most sought after calls in the world. Some of these guys have 4 or 5 year waiting lists to build a call. I mean, I can't thank these guys enough for doing what they did to make it happen. But Mark Perdome and Billy Bice built 10 trumpet calls apiece, which are incredibly cool. We have them down at the office now. Steve Mann, Lamar Williams, and Marlon Watkins all built box calls, 3 different style box calls, kind of with their different styles that they kind of are known for, which are all incredibly beautiful box calls. And then TJ Johnson, Bill Ziering, Redbeard, Dean Munkin.
His last name is confusing to pronounce, but everybody knows him as Redbeard.
Yeah, I apologize to Dean for not getting his last name right, but everybody calls him Redbeard.
Redbeard it
Do you
is.
remember the little short film, The Disease?
Oh, yeah.
That's him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. And then Pat Strouser. So the 9 call makers, 9 sets of 10 calls apiece, and those will all be auction items. Every bit of that will be for auction. We'll give more details at a later date on how that's going to. We do know that the number 5 vest and all the number 5 calls are going to be auctioned off in a package deal at the NWTF convention at their banquet this year. So if you wanted,
It's their 50th anniversary,
it's their 50th
so
anniversary,
Yeah.
we gave them the number 5 with all the number 5 calls. If you want to,
So there's
if you want to
401.
dig really, if you want to dig really
That's
deep
right.
into your checkbook and you really want to piss your wife off right before turkey season, which I don't advise, you can go and try to outbid someone for that package.
There you go.
and
Mike.
the number 5 box of Apex shells
Yeah.
that we hand loaded
Man,
at the cabin this
exactly.
morning. So
There it is.
So part of what we're doing with that, we don't have an official date to share with everyone, but that's a lot of calls. Obviously, 9 call makers, 10 calls each,
Yeah.
90 calls. They all have really cool little details. One of the glass calls is made with feathers from Pawpaw's last turkey. 2 sets made with feathers. Oh yeah, Bill's Earrings calls have those, don't they? So 2 sets of
Wow.
calls with feathers from Pawpaw's last turkey. We've got 7 of the 9 sets in West Point too. Have yet to arrive. Bill's one of those. So I forgot about those.
Yeah, they're in transit.
And they're drooling at them this morning. But anyway, the 90 calls. We didn't want to only auction them off in package deals with the vest because that eliminates a whole bunch of people from being able to try to bid on one at an auction because I don't know how much it's gonna bring, but the vest, a box of ammo and 9 calls is gonna bring a lot more than one call by itself.
Serious, yeah.
So we don't know all the details yet, but sometime later in March, most likely after the vest has gone on its official on sale, we're gonna try to have an online auction just to give more people the ability to bid on some of these calls, and we're gonna break up. We don't know how many yet. Hopefully, at least 5 of these will be broken up individually. So that would be 45 calls. So there would be a lot of opportunities for people to be able to bid on these. We've never done an online auction, so these are all details we're trying to work through. We just want to make sure, as you can tell, and as we've talked about a bunch with the vest or with any of this other stuff, we just want the people who, there are a lot of people out there, especially during turkey season, that you cut them and they bleed bottom land, and they genuinely care about Pawpaw. Even people who've never met him genuinely care about him. And there's a lot of people that want this vest for the right reasons. We want the same people, if they're gonna get the box of ammo or if they're gonna get some of these calls. We don't want to prohibit anyone from at least having the opportunity to buy it where we can. So anyway, we'll have a lot more details to come, and we will have a lot of photography and video around some of these calls because they're incredible. The only one I got to, Neill went up to Pennsylvania with Rob for Bill's earring, went down with Hunter Lewis to, was it Lamar William that y'all went down to? And then I went to go see Billy Bice with Rob 2 weeks ago. And man, being in the shop with these guys is so freaking cool.
I bet
It's
so.
cool. And the reason for all of it is to raise money for wild turkey conservation efforts.
Absolutely.
And that's the reason that we had this idea to do this in the first place. Obviously we want some really cool calls to be a part of it, but the whole point of all this is to raise as much money, because this is a one-time vest, so it's a one-time opportunity to raise a lot of money for conservation efforts. That's what our grandfather's most passionate about, and that's what we wanted to be able to do. So the 400 calls at the call makers at NWTF, all those will be donations towards wild turkey conservation efforts, as well as the first 10 calls and the first 10 vests. And probably we're going to probably auction off a lot more of the first 100 vests, as just standalone auctions for that one vest kind of thing. So there's a lot of really cool opportunities with this to raise, hopefully, a ton of money.
If it's the whole point of this is to honor Pawpaw's legacy as best we can, and his legacy is trying to inspire as many people as possible, especially hunters, and to leave it better than he found it. So we're gonna hopefully come away with this with a whole lot of money to make sure we're getting it in the hands of people who are trying to leave it better than they found it, and support a lot of cool turkey conservation.
It looks to me like y'all are well on your way to making this thing a huge success.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
It's a beautiful vest.
I hope so.
Absolutely beautiful.
I hope people like it. It's definitely a collector's.
Are they sized?
They're one size fits all.
Do you think guys are going to hunt with these, or are they going to put them up?
Yeah, both.
I think there are definitely going to be some people that hang them up, because we know people that still have their Dixon in the original packaging. But with a lot of stuff, just like with the shells will come in a box of 5 if you've bought any shells from Apex. We were having the same conversation earlier. Are people going to leave the shells on the shelf? Or what we were talking about, actually, which it's not funny, but it would be if it happened to somebody else. But ideally for me, my box of 5 shells, I would like to kill a turkey with one of those shells and leave the other 4 in the box. And if I were to miss a turkey with the one that I was planning on using,
What do you do if you miss 5 in a row?
Yeah, if I miss one, I'm gonna be in a pickle already. It's a slippery slope when you get the yips. But
if you miss a turkey, you can probably ask Bobby about your.
I don't know.
Bobby
Bobby
can be.
Oh my God!
One of the cool things about, because there's a lot, 2 people. We know a lot of people that just hunt the absolute crap out of theirs. So the range of people with the question of, are you going to hunt it or are you going to hang it, is usually you got the people, me, Neil, David, who I just talked about with the Dixon, who hunt it every single day for the last however many years with it. You've got other people who have it hanging or in the original packaging, have never used it. What's really cool that a lot of people do, I know, that want it to, they want the vest to be around for decades, is they'll take it out and try to kill one turkey a year with it, or they'll hunt with it one morning a year, whether they kill a turkey or not. And then they'll hang it back up. That's a really cool thing that I've heard a lot of people say they do with their Dixon. That is what I would, that would be the sweet spot. This vest is, it means so much. It's supposed to carry all the legacy that it embodies into the woods with you. So I'm not saying you got to hunt with it every single day if you want to make sure it is in good condition for a long time, but I would recommend hunting it.
Yeah,
that's where Daniel and I are different.
Yeah,
I will
at
be
least
hunting every day.
I would
in
too.
20 years.
Yeah, life is short.
Yeah, in 20 years, my Fox Vest will probably just be
Yeah.
Neil and I are not different because I'm
shreds.
talking about the general public. I'm going to be hunting in my vest every single day.
Yeah.
I'm saying for the general public of the people who either leave it in the box or take it out once a year, you should at least take it out and hunt with it once a year.
At least hunt
Yeah.
with it once. No doubt about
So
it.
what about the last year? A bunch of people hunted with that traveling fox. How did that end up?
We had a prototype, and we wanted, a bunch of our friends and y'all all hunted with it, and we just wanted to have as many people kind of get eyes on it, go spend a day in the woods with it, get some feedback on it, but just kind of we called it the Traveling Fox Fest, and it was just kind of happened randomly. So we just kind of started passing it around through turkey season, and one person passed it to the next, and then we decided, well, we don't want to ship it anywhere. We just want it to be passed hand to hand. We didn't want to lose it in shipping either, and so it became just the Traveling Fox Fest.
Yeah.
Lanny hunted it one morning, and then passed it to the next guy, and then passed it to the next guy, and I don't remember how many people hunted in it.
It was pretty deadly. It was pretty deadly.
We kept a logbook and a journal with the vest, and so everybody that killed a turkey logged their turkey into the logbook, and everybody put a journal entry. Well, Lanny, you've had the journal for almost a year now, and you still had.
That's how important
this
this thing is to me. I really want it to be right. Now I've written my journal entry.
Oh, you did?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just never passed it to the next person.
Well, I passed to the next person, but I hadn't
I don't know.
I hadn't handwritten it in there because I was telling Daniel last night my handwriting's so atrocious. I wanted it to be really nice.
He was insecure about it.
I am insecure about my
The
handwriting.
traveling vest was cool for two reasons. The one that's obvious is that it was cool for a lot of people to be able to use this vest last year, especially family members and people who've worked for Mossy Oak for a while and all that good stuff. And the second is if we're trying to build a vest that we don't want to be able to easily, I mean, there's not many products on the planet for hunters that somebody can't figure out a unique way to tear it up. But the other benefit of the Traveling Fox Vest was that if we hunted with it from opening day in Mississippi until the season closed at the end of May in Maine, when me, Neil, and our cousin Jack went up there with Pawpaw's old gun and the vest and closed the book on the traveling vest for last season. We didn't figure out a way to tear it up between all those folks, so we're off to a good start.
Real
Feeling
good
about
start.
the
Yeah.
quality of it.
We're pretty rough on stuff.
Yeah.
Right there.
It was covered in blood.
Yeah,
It was
I
beat
will
up.
say that there's a whole lot of debate these days on how you carry a turkey out of the woods, whether it's by the head or by the feet. Y'all see, there's a lot of like George Mayfield's big on.
Yeah.
He kind of started the whole trend of carrying them out by the head, but there's to each his own. I don't really care. I carry them out by the feet, but I really could care less. But
As long as I'm carrying
that was
them out.
obviously.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm saying that is the Traveling Fox Fest, when we got it back, clearly most people carried it out by their feet because the seat cushion on this thing is just covered in blood. The whole thing is just crusted over. I mean, half the seat cushion is just solid blood, like layers of blood from each turkey that got carried out. So that's kind of a little gory, but
No,
it's cool.
That's what it's built for.
A lot of character. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that Dad said it about Pawpaw a couple years ago because especially in his old age, really his entire life, we were laughing yesterday about looking at his wedding photos. He's kind of looked like an old man, and since he was 27, so you see pictures where he was like 65, and you're like, well, he aged pretty well in his old age because he's always looked like an old man, but everybody sees him as this like kind, gentle figure, and he is. But Dad was the one a couple years ago who was like, man, everybody thinks that Pawpaw just getting in the woods is enough for him, and it is his medicine. It's the only reason he's still alive right now is that he's been able to look forward and anticipate all these turkey hunts and the deer hunts to get him closing the gap till turkey season gets here. But he is a turkey killer,
No doubt about that.
and that of a vest that we hunted with all season that didn't have some turkeys killed in it wouldn't
be right.
If Pawpaw was the one hunting in it, it would have seen some success. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got one. What's the price tag going to be on this vest?
$450.
I'm gonna tell you what. As much thought and time and the quality materials, that's a bargain right there.
Yeah,
And another cool thing that it's got too that we've never had in a vest. I've never seen in anybody's vest, but we made a leather mouth call lanyard to come with the vest. It's got a pouch for it, and it's removable. Obviously, it's a lanyard, so that's a pretty cool piece of it. So for some people, because this is a very traditional vest, as anybody who has heard us compare it to the Dixon vest or has seen it in person already, it's very traditional. It's a big vest, so anybody that is either hunting without it or going more lightweight, if you're leaving the Fox vest at home, it's cool that we've got this mouth call lanyard, because you can take that in the woods with you, whether you're hunting with the fox vest or not. You'll have a piece of it with you.
Yeah, it's a great vest to carry all your stuff. If you wanted a more low profile run and gun vest, you could have kind of a combo 2 vest package. But it's an awesome vest. It's really well made, and we're very proud of it, and we hope people.
So
really enjoy it.
my main question is, what does Mr. Fox think about it when he sees it?
He likes it. I mean, we've showed it to him throughout the process. We got our prototypes back, and we drove over and showed it to him, and this and that. He's 92 years old, so he's not, oh, why'd you put your box call pocket right here? He thinks it's.
He's just tickled to death by the whole project as a whole.
Yeah. Well, those patches and the quotes that are in the, there's just so much attention to detail that can't be told through a podcast per se.
No, you got to put your hands on it and look at this thing.
I give you guys kudos for all the effort that it really can't be described just sitting here talking about it.
No, there was so many people involved in it, and so many critiques and
it's
opinions.
A lifetime.
And,
I mean, we're talking about 2 years, but that's a lifetime of turkey hunting and lifetime of field experience. Putting that thing.
Yep.
Here I go, Timbo.
Dogs, Milo.
How's Milo?
Sorry. My dogs are bad about barking, but yeah, I mean, the whole process of the last few years working on this vest, all the way coming down to the wire here. We got a week or two till the launch at NWTF. I mean, I'm starting to get a little nervous, but yeah,
it's all good.
I'll be glad when we're finally, hopefully sold through all of them. So.
Daniel's over there texting somebody.
I'm not texting anybody. I'm making sure we didn't forget anything. I've got a book of years worth of notes on the Fox vest, and there's so much that we tried to, we wanted to pay attention to every last detail. So if it sounds like we're communicating a lot, it's because we are.
One thing we didn't talk about was the camouflage on the vest. And so how'd y'all come up with the bottomland on the outside, green leaf on the inside?
It's a two-tone, yeah. The Dixon vest is a two-tone camo. It's got new breakup on the outside and bottomland on the inside. So in the tradition of that, or in the spirit of that, we went with bottomland on the outside and green leaf on the inside of this one.
It was kind of a no-brainer, especially with the Dixon vest having breakup on the outside. I mean, there was no doubt. Pawpaw is as bottomland as it gets.
Yeah, no doubt.
But the green leaf on the inside is a cool touch too.
Yeah, it's very cool. It turned out nice. So.
Lanny, we gotta have one.
Oh, I'm gonna have one.
I think I'm gonna try to get about 10 of them.
Yeah,
just kidding.
You got to bid one up. Sounds like
the official public on sale for the majority of this is going to be in March.
March
11th. The NWTF. It's the 50th anniversary. It's the biggest gathering of turkey hunters anytime in the country. It's like freaking Christmas for Mossy Oak folks. I mean, it's this year especially is going to be all of these things combined. It's going to be the funnest convention of all time. So that's why, even though the vest is officially it was going to be launched in March, we had to bring some vests in WTF because it's just too cool of an opportunity not to share some there.
Well, and you're spreading the opportunity.
That's
out.
right, which is good, really good.
Yeah, we may or may not have some conservation beer cans at NWTF Longbeard Light. So,
Ooh,
be on the lookout for those.
Right.
Too.
Yeah, that's a little special tidbit for some of the turkey guys listening here. If you see us at NWTF, give us a handshake and we will return the favor with a Longbeard Light. Light as a feather. We're still working out the details. We're gonna have a party at NWTF with our friends at Gunner plus Onyx and Yeti. That will be called Pour One for the Polts. So,
nice.
So we got some Longbeard Light. We're gonna pour one for the Polt, probably more than one for the Polts.
Probably more than one. I would imagine
more than one.
Yeah. I have a feeling a lot of folks that weren't planning on going to NWTF after they hear this, they're going
to sign up.
It is. If you've never been to NWTF and you always are indecisive about it,
now's the year.
This will be the most fun NWTF convention of all time. I guarantee that.
Okay, but I'm sold.
Better be up there.
Well, what is there anything else? We've talked about so much, but
we got Fox Fest, Longbeard Light. We
Check.
got some cool things going on.
And since a lot of this is
Wild Turkey Lab.
this is bad radio talking about something that you can't see, but when we're talking about all this, everyone we'll have a landing page online. If you most likely anybody listening to this podcast has already seen photos once we share them before this airs, but we'll have a landing page that communicates a bunch of these details that has a lot of photography and imagery of the vest, and there will be better visuals than us just describing it. You'll finally be able to see it. And if you're coming through West Point, holler at one of us because you can just come by the office
swing on by
and see us and check it out.
that sounds good.
Yeah, and I would like to say, if you do buy a Mr. Fox vest, when this releases, they will not have been on sale yet. But if you do buy one, I would like to say thank you in advance. We've worked really hard, and we're very proud of this. And we're proud of honoring our granddad with this whole project, and then the fact that this is also raising money for conservation efforts. So thank you in advance if you buy one.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you.
Hit the horns, Richie.
Yeah.
It
hits a lot of sweet spots, that's for sure.
Although we've gotten a ton of Instagram DMs and Facebook messages and texts and everything over the past year of people asking about the Fox vest, just trying to make sure that they can buy one. And I've had some people that are like apologizing for bothering me or whatever, asking about it. And I never take it for granted. Anybody I see that's wearing Bottomland or that somebody that genuinely is cut from the same cloth as we are, even without this vest, I never take it for granted. I always think it's so cool, even though Mossy Oak's become what it is now. The Fox vest, especially if you got questions about it or you want to share something or send us a picture or whatever, we're not taking it for granted. This has been the coolest experience of my life working on this project for the past 2 years, and the release of it, finally getting to share it with everyone is the icing on the cake. So it's very exciting. We're extremely grateful to everyone that has shared our enthusiasm for our granddad and for Mossy Oak and all that he cares about.
The vibes are at an all-time high heading into turkey season.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Big expectations.
We can only go down from here. So,
Yeah, that's true.
We're probably all going to miss a turkey opening day.
Oh, man.
Knock on wood.
It's happened before.
Yeah.
And Bobby.
Yeah.
I know it's happened to Bobby.
I know it's happened to Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby's
I've seen it a
missed
few
one
times.
on opening day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I don't know what else needs to be said, but it sounds like we've said
Hey,
it all.
I got something to say. Great job, fellas. I mean, you talk about a culmination of really lifetimes of people, and y'all brought it to fruition in an amazing way. So it's a tribute not only to Mr. Fox, but this place and Toxie's life and everything else here. So kudos, man.
Yeah.
And shout out to the entire team at Mossy Oak that helped us build this vest. Everyone, they know who they are, but there was a lot of people that really worked, long hours into the night trying to make this happen for 2 years. So they know who they are, but thank you.
Yeah. Good
There
stuff.
we go. Yeah. Yeah. You guys have done it. Y'all have knocked it out of the park. This is exciting. Mac, you
I'm
got
gonna
anything?
let you bid on that one of those 10 for me just because you love me so much, Bobby.
Let me take your credit card when
Oh,
okay.
okay.
We'll work on
No
that.
Bobby's going to
problem.
buy one for Jesse.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I do.
I bet you will.
Well, probably will. Yeah, I know. That's what she asked for Christmas. So, all right, guys. So, look, this is really cool.
It's amazing good
just,
stuff.
So proud of y'all. Y'all have done
Yeah,
a
no
fantastic job, and everybody downtown that worked on this. Just,
Amazing project.
Yeah, it really is.
Really
So,
is good stuff.
well, why don't we wrap this up? We got another guest that just walked in. We're going to have another podcast this afternoon. So, why don't you say goodbye, Dudley?
Goodbye, Dudley.
Get us out of here, Mac.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Gamekeeper Podcast. And be sure to tune in again. Subscribe to Gamekeeper Farming for Wildlife magazine, and don't miss the Mossy Oak Properties Fistful of Dirt podcast with my good buddy, Ronnie Cuz Strickland.